Kahaba Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great notes don't go well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this work, be well, whatever your life may be. Um, this is it's a 27-minute long interview you can watch on your own. It's on Odyssey, the big picture 21st century combat, or I'll just put this link on the RT.com so you can see. But I really only want the first 2 to 4 minutes of it, and that'll be the video. And it's really just going to serve as a warning, what's to come, right? Because if these people were able to do it in enemy territory, how much easier will it be for them to do it in a place, here in Babylon, where, they own basically, where the capital of the U.S. is now Tel Aviv, I guess. I don't know. But it's not in English. They'll have a translator. And yeah, you'll see. We'll hone in on it. If there's something that I hear before, we'll stop. We'll pause it. But I'm going to let it roll.
Before. Mobile phones, beepers, electrical appliances, even lifts have been used as lethal weapons that have largely determined the outcome of fighting in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and the recent 12-day war with Iran. Joining us to discuss such new methods of war are Alexander Doronin, head of the Data and Analytical Support-Based Decision-Making Professional Training Program at the Higher School of Economics. Maxim Kondratyev, head of the Unmanned Aviation and Robotics Training Center, and Georgia Satrian, research fellow with the Institute of World Military Economy and Strategy at the Higher School of Economics. Welcome and thank you for joining us.
Hello. Good day.
Israel loaded surveillance software on all of its adversaries' electronic devices. The Israelis knew about the movements, conversations, meeting, and data exchanges of virtually every Palestinian, Syrian, Lebanese, and Iranian of any significance to Israel.
Right, so off the dribble, that's why I went here, Isaiah 14 here, okay? That's Israel's time. And then wait, where am I at? 14 and 14, that's right. 13 actually, 12, 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And you see it happen, the weakening of a nation. Well, now they are saying, let us be strong, right? These nations are saying, art thou as weak as we? Okay, and it's a lot of this is going to boil over pretty soon. The wars and rumors of wars have been heating up and cooling down. Really, they're like contractions, right? That's why the scriptures tell you, like, a woman in travail. So it is, I'm sorry, a woman like birth pains, and that's how it's going to come. You'll have uptick of something and it'll slow back down. And then that's really another, I guess for lack of a better term, another stumbling block for those that don't believe, because when you tell them, they say, oh, yeah, we always been doing this. It's always been like that, right? And that is going to lead to it being their undoing. All right, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. All right, and here's what's on the way. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Right, hell meaning a low estate. Okay, low estate. Lucifer meaning light bearer is simply a title for somebody, whether that light be on the right hand or the left. Okay, a controversial statement would be that Yahushua would be Lucifer on the right hand side. He is a light bearer, except that light is the true light. Okay, the actual truth, not a left-handed means, coming up some other way, trying to establish a pseudo blessing. So when they say this, there's no light in them. in them. Oh, there we go. Oh, I guess they've improved their name resolution here. All right, Isaiah 8:20, into the law, into the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And we can just get that word for light and see if there's a little something we can glean off here before we continue on the video. Light. I don't even have it up, do I? There we go. Let's shrink it a little bit. Okay. Sha. Alright. So there's your Sha. And I believe, what are we looking at? That is not it. That is Ha. Sha, Ha, and then Ra. So there is your Sha. There is your Ra. And there is your Ha. As in Ha, Wa. Ya, Ha, Wa, Sha. It's that Ha. Okay. Wait. What did I miss? Sha and then Ha. Right. Sha. I'm missing something here. Oh, and then a Ra. So Sha, Ha, and Ra. Shahar. Dawn. Okay. Okay, well, in a literal sense. To seek early or earnestly, look diligently. Alright, and when what does it tell you to do? Seek the Lord while he may be found. Seek him early. Seek that light early. The truth of the matter. Seek it early. Okay, so we'll go, we got what we needed out of there. And let's let her finish with the next couple of minutes here, and that will really just be the video. So I just want to highlight two things. If they're doing it there, they can do it here. And the second is, there really is no other way out. We are going to have to exercise faith, because if you could beat the devil yourself, what would be the point of Yahweh's sacrifice? What would be the point of striving, to be holy and striving to, be like the Most High, be under that proper vibration? Okay, the point is, when you do that, your prayers are heard, and there's going to be a lot more praying coming here pretty soon.
Alexander, my question to you is, how did Israel manage that?
Hezbollah purchased pagers, and in this way they hope to evade surveillance by Israel's signals intelligence. However, Israeli intelligence managed to infiltrate the supply chain and compromise the vendors supplying Hezbollah with beepers. The Israelis equipped them with additional functions that cause them to explode at a certain time. Modern elevators have facial recognition systems, and it's possible these were used to facilitate precision strikes.
Using an artificial intelligence system, Israel processed data on virtually all of the Gaza Strip's 2 million strong population. Special AI algorithms then assess the probability that any given individual might be a member of Hamas or the Palestinian Islamic Jihad.
Right. Information fed, biased information that is fed. Okay, so if we go, let's talk to our third witness here. Let's just see what we got. Let me set up mine. Here we go. How we want to word this? Can you explain what an algorithm is? There we go. How we need to add a little bit more parameters here. Explain the term algorithm and how Uses it to learn. Okay, an algorithm is a set of instructions or rules designed to solve a problem or perform a task, like a recipe for cooking, or steps to solve a math equation. In this context of AI, algorithms are the backbone of how systems process data, make decisions, and learn from experience. An algorithm is a step-by-step procedure, often expressed as a sequence of operations that take inputs, process them, and those inputs are biased. So you can, you know, that's why when you are, I don't know, early on with ChatGPT, you could kind of ask it anything, and it would, spit out some truth. Sometimes it would even be honest, and next thing you know, you try to do that, replicate that same thing you did the next day, and they've patched the system, or they've done something to, make that change, plug that hole, and you can no longer get it. So this is a ever growing thing, and it has to be maintained. Okay, it is artificial in every sense of the word. Okay, example: sorting list of numbers. Yeah. Key traits: finite, has clear start and end. Deterministic, the same input always produces the same output for most traditional algorithms, right? Except when somebody is actively making revisions. All right, learning process, we're gonna skip down. They're fed data, okay? For supervised learning, this includes labels, image and classification. Okay, model training, algorithm processes the data to find patterns or relationships. For instance, in a neutral network, an algorithm adjusts internal parameters to reduce the difference between predicted and actual outputs. Often done using an optimization algorithm like gradient descent, which literally, in interactively tweaks parameters to minimize error. Okay. So we want as if I 10, as if I am 10. Imagine you're trying to find the lowest spot in a big bumpy field, the bottom of the valley. You're blindfolded. You can't see where the lowest points but you can feel the ground under your feet to tell if it's sloping down, or to tell if it's sloping down. Gradient descent is like a trick to help you find the lowest spot. So pretty much you're digging as deep as you can. All right, for that you're sifting through that information. Information being the dirt in the ground. All right. And this is a good way to look at how to trickle, ask what you want to ask and get the answer, the proper answer that you may be looking for here. But anyway, we don't want to dig too deep into that. Basically, all right, these algorithms are, long story short, these algorithms are biased because they are fed to them by a particular group with a motive, all right, at hand. And like I said, if they can do it there, they will do it here. It is nothing to tweak an algorithm to seek out people's posts, what people like, what people interact with, okay, what they buy, and then they piece these things together, and there are your similarities, right? There are your, dots that are connected, and next thing you know, you are a whatever they deem you to be, and whatever they deem you to be may fall under a certain category that will dictate what treatment you get. What treatment would that be, might you ask? Oh, I don't know. What do they do with so-called terrorist, or that they deem? Okay, that's when the scriptures tell you the devil may cast some of you into prison. Some of us. Anything, I don't know. At some point, we are going. Those who truly believe will be cut off from society. I don't know how soon. I mean, because I'm sure realistically we could, ride this wave of this digital transition up until you just can't. All right, so let's see if we can I'll let it play a little bit more and that'll be the video. But really, that's what I wanted to highlight, that level of surveillance. You know, nothing has been kept from this devil, basically.
How was Israel able to gather so much data on Gaza residents?
Gaza is the most heavily monitored place on Earth. Surveillance footage is captured practically every 10 minutes. Israeli military drones are always buzzing over Gaza. The United States regularly provides Israel with satellite imagery. Israel exercises complete control over mobile phone billing records and various messaging platforms. All this intel is collected and processed by the Lavender system. There's also a lesser-known system called Where's Daddy?
Okay. I'm sure this is being recorded and monitored right now. Yes, that AI-based targeting system. Lavender system is an AI-powered database developed specifically within its elite intelligence unit and identify target suspects, operatives of the H group, or the H word people, because H group is the other one. And Palestinian, yeah, okay. Below is an explanation tailored to a 10-year-old. Imagine a super smart computer that is like a librarian with giant books of information about people. The Lavender system is like that computer, used by soldiers to find certain people they think, and we want to hone in on that thinking part, that they think might be troublemakers. It looks a ton at a ton of information, like phone calls, where people live, give each other, and gives each person a score, like a grade from 1 to 10, 1 to 100, to guess if they're a part of a group, you know, they're looking for. But sometimes computers make mistakes, boy, don't they? Especially, well, we'll just keep reading. And points to the wrong people, which can cause big problems. It's supposed to help make decisions faster, but it's not perfect, and people have to check its work and make sure it's fair. And we know those people and fair do not go in the same sentence.
When individuals identified by Israeli intelligence as members of Hamas's military wing return home, the system sends an alert, allowing Israeli forces to strike either with combat drones or conducting missile and bombing raids.
What is the Lavender system?
It's an AI platform that aggregates intelligence data from multiple sources and generates the so-called patterns. The Israelis believe that if, for example, someone changes their mobile phone every 3 months, there's a high chance they're a member of Hamas's military wing. The Lavender system and similar platforms operate on a kind of social rating principle. Each Gaza resident is assigned a score, and when it approaches 100, the system identifies them as a member of Hezbollah's armed wing. And then the system generates a strike recommendation plan against that particular individual.
We know the name of the AI system Israel used in Gaza. It's called the Gospel and was designed to speed up bombing target selection and rapidly track Hamas positions and give casualty estimates before strikes. Take the strike on the Shijaya Battalion's commander, Wissam Farhat. The AI operators knew civilian casualties would exceed 100. That day's bombardment leveled dozens of buildings, killed scores instantly, and buried hundreds more under their own homes. Similarly, to take out the Hamas brigade commander Ayman Nofal in central Gaza, airstrikes on Bureij refugee camp flattened 18 large residential tower blocks.
Yeah, that's why I threw in there sometimes computers make mistakes. No, you plug in ones and zeros and you get your ones and zeros. Okay, that it's not a mistake. Okay, we can just leave it at that. And I want to close with Daniel 12:1 here. because best believe that will be used on the American people, especially Jake, Northern and Southern Kingdom, where we are oppressed together. Jacob's trouble will consist of said technology in said AI discrimination, all of that. Okay, it will get unreal. It will feel unreal. It will be a personal, basically a personal hell. Okay, but the elect will be kept. And I say we humbly and prayerfully that, that we are kept and we are covered throughout what is about to befall this place. And I don't think we can really put into words. We can read it, you can imagine it, okay, and all of that, but at the end of the day, it's different when it's right there in your face. All the more reason to search that true light, right? These scriptures, you get in and you learn them, and you put off the wickedness of this world, and you seek to be, or what Christians would call Christ, like what Hamashiachim, right? More like Yahushai. He blazed the trail, and we just follow in his footsteps. And when we fall short, we repent. But when we believe on him, that is when you are covered. That is the purpose. Not to just do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, sleep with whoever you want, because your so-called, or the idol named Jesus died for you to do whatever for you to live in total anarchy, basically. All right, so we'll end it right here at Daniel 12:1. At that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. And hey man, you put on the elect and destroy you. Alright? That is your job as you are here, is to put on the elect. And you figure that out by reading, and furthermore being gifted the Holy Spirit. So don't squander that gift. If you were given the ability to understand, right, then you know what your job is, you know what your responsibility is. So with that, shalom.